Good evening. We bring you the latest in the world of sports. I'm Paolo Del Rosario.
We give you the conversations you want to hear from your favorite sports icons and athletes. I'm Boom Gonzalez. In tonight's game plan, we'll hear from the up-and-coming Farm Fresh Foxies as they prepare for their debut in the PVL. But first, let's give our flowers to the Denver Nuggets as they finally win their first NBA title in franchise history.
Woo! Buckle up, sports fans. So let's get in the game. For the first time in NBA history, the Denver Nuggets reached the top of the podium as champions of the league. After almost half a century in the NBA, the historic victory was led by two-time MVP and now Finals MVP, Nikola Jokic. Now, joining us tonight are not Nikola Jokic, unfortunately. They are NBA Philippines All-Star analyst Isaac Go and Mr. Hot Takes Jello Vito.
Tumanggi.
Oo nga
Tumanggi
eh.
si Nikola Jokic. So, we apologize
We're
in
the
short
plan B.
notice.
Yeah, he wants to see his horses. We could not. You're the
Yeah.
closest we
Wanted
can.
big, yeah.
We wanted big men here. So, the Denver Nuggets first franchise championship in their history. Jello, that game in particular, that last game, that fourth quarter, you just had to feel that naubos yung Miami
Yeah.
Heat, especially Jimmy Butler. He did have that incredible stretch to keep them alive.
12 straight points, huh?
But it's incredible. Just you could see the fatigue and how much of a rock fight that
Yeah.
last quarter was.
You know, that fourth quarter, particularly, yung last 5 minutes, 4 minutes of that game, ano siya back and forth season na siya until na parang someone just had to give. And
Yeah.
it was the Miami Heat who really crumbled in that end game. And syempre, Nikola Jokic spearheading that run in the fourth quarter. KCP being the veteran leader, getting some stops in that end game and finishing that game with a clutch free throw. So, props to Denver in that game.
We'll break down some of these players and some of the things that happened. Let's start, Isaac, with the man who is at the center of the universe right now, basically. Nikola Jokic. It was what was expected and more, in my opinion. And his delivery did not suffer under the bright lights, and even if he doesn't want to run away from the bright lights. But your overall thoughts on Jokic and his in the playoffs in general.
We always talk about when you get the number one guy to be able to carry a team, and this is probably the last time you saw someone do this, probably Dirk or Giannis, where he literally put the team on his back, literally showed that, even like give credit to Jimmy Butler, try to keep into the game, but you see that di niya talaga kaya, where Nikola Jokic decided to put everybody on his back, carry them to the finals and deliver them a championship.
Yeah, Nikola Jokic, I don't think he's ever going to be picked last again in an
No,
All-Star
no.
game. But Isaac, you take a look at the supporting cast as well. Jamal Murray also had we have to talk about his story.
Oh, for
the
sure.
injury.
Yeah.
There was a time wherein he thought that he was going to be traded for the ankle injury. And things just went right this time around for Jamal Murray.
And this is where we see how, again, not only Jamal's storyline, but there's a lot of storylines you can talk about with this team, but particularly to Jamal is, everyone thought that especially him, he had doubts that he was still going to be part of this team, because you know that how the NBA is very cutthroat, how a lot of players, when you get injury, you're damaged goods. Do they still want you? Will they still trust in you? And instead of trading him away, they doubled down, they believed in him, and he finally repaid that trust.
And that duo, Jello, what a luxury to have, that position, those two positions covered by those two talents. And I thought that obviously the series swung in game number 3 and those historic triple doubles. Talk about the duo and the beautiful music that they play together.
Watching them is like a symphony. Parang they complement each other. Parang when they run that screen and roll, unang-una sa lahat, if you double Jamal Murray, Nikola Jokic should be free on that short roll.
Yeah.
If you switch, automatic it's already a mismatch, whether it's Jamal Murray, big on him, or Nikola Jokic with a guard on him. And hindi mo alam kung paano mo sila babantayan kasi ang daming pwedeng mangyari just those two guys. And isama mo pa yung tatlo that really complements the entire team.
Ayun na.
Deadly na talaga sila.
Yeah, Jello, you talked about, I remember one of your hot takes before this series was that Mike Malone will outcoach Eric Spoelstra. I still disagree that the outcoaching happened, by the way. But Michael Malone, you have to give him
Yeah.
his credit. He is the second coach to win his first title in the 8th season or later in his career, the first being Pat Riley. Just how much flowers should we give this guy? Because Michael Malone, my goodness, what a performance from him in this playoffs.
You know, first of all, you have to give credit to the Denver management to putting in the entire trust of that team in him.
And gave it time.
And give it time. Nagkaroon sila ng magalaking patience talaga na ang ginawa ng Denver para to flourish in that system. And with Mike Malone just putting all that talent together, with putting pieces like Aaron Gordon, KCP, a veteran, even Jeff Green, yung veteran leadership niya, nandyan pumasok, Bruce Brown, and all those guys. And ito na yung culmination ng hirap nila all throughout these years. And that's a championship.
Isaac, can you talk about Aaron Gordon? In the last game, that was big. The 27 points and the defense that he played on, a hobbling Jimmy Butler, it doesn't matter. But Jimmy really struggles with size and length anyway to begin with, even when he's healthy. So he became a great two-way player, and he introduced himself in this series to the world as a two-way player, Isaac.
I think we always remember him being the guy who got snubbed in the slam dunk contest, where in his time in Orlando, like everyone, he being a 4th overall pick, he was a lottery pick, high expectations, but a lot of turnover, a lot of coaching change in Orlando, and I think there was a lot of doubt with him. But when he moved to the Denver, a lot more security, and he's given a chance to flourish in a system where they told him, you can be aggressive, you can take it back easy, but the defense, because not only against Jimmy Butler, but LeBron James, throughout their journey
Great point.
in the playoffs, he was guarding probably the toughest matchup in every series possible.
Yeah.
Kevin Durant
Kevin
also
Durant,
at
all
some
of that.
point.
Yeah,
Correct.
absolutely. And just one last thing on Aaron Gordon, because this is basically his revenge series against Dwayne Wade for
Miami.
that slam dunk.
I'm sure he doesn't mind not being a slam dunk champion.
Yeah.
He's
He's
actually
a
a champion now. So
100%.
okay na rin.
100%.
Okay na rin.
So there are a lot of other guys that we can talk to because this Denver team was so incredibly deep. But Jello, not even you would guess that in 5 games mananalo ang Denver Nuggets. So what we take a look at the entire run here of the Denver Nuggets. What do you think their legacy would be, knowing that they won this in 5, they were dominant as they were, and how should we look at them going into next season? Should we see them still as title favorites?
Yeah. Obviously, with the way they run the season, I mean, for sure they're gonna be favorites pa rin. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if again they'd be number 1 in the West come postseason. But as long as they keep that core intact of Aaron Gordon and all those role players in that team, I think they will have a good chance of a repeat next season.
Great game, as you mentioned, KCP. Brown was big also,
Yes, he
the
was.
veteran. What a transfer from the Nets
Yeah.
to this. But what about that rookie, CB, Christian Brown, whom I called Chris Brown this morning? Technically, tama pa rin.
Yeah.
Well, man, NCAA champion and now NBA champion. Isaac, you know how that feels, college and then pro. That's a great career.
I think a lot of guys now underestimate what these late first rounders, second rounders can do, that these contending teams, because again, Christian Braun probably not the guy who jumps out to you, but you know that he had a good role in Kansas when they won. And let's not forget, he got fined on his first day with the Denver Nuggets. And he's probably trying to earn that money back. So credit to him for stepping up and accepting his role.
Christian Brown, Chris Brown, you can call him whatever you want.
Yeah.
All we know
Champion.
is that he's an
He's
NBA champion right now in his first season. Guys, maraming salamat. Really appreciate your time. And again, you're really the closest approximate we can get to a Nikola Jokic size-wise.
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 Thanks for being on standby.
Yes.
Of course. Kasi humindi si.
Okay, wala eh. We're not horses.
Thank you guys. We'll see you soon. After the break, we shift to volleyball with another team making a debut in the PVL Invitational Conference, the Farm Fresh Foxies. Stay tuned. You're watching the game. Welcome back to the game. With the arrival of new teams in the PVL, rising stars are getting opportunities to shine in the pros. Let's hear from the Farm Fresh Foxies who are set to debut in the Invitational Conference. Right now we have with us Pia Ildefonso, Joan Narit, Camille Avila, and Corinne Apostol. Welcome to the game. Welcome to the PVL. Welcome to the cold studio. Thank you very much for being here today. Pia, you know, yesterday when we started the volleyball segment, I talked about right away the defenders as that moniker. Now we have, this probably is the coolest. Not only are you Foxies, you're Fresh Foxies. That is the coolest moniker for a volleyball team. Pia, let me start with you because you did take a break from volleyball in general.
Yes.
What I'm interested to find out is, did you detach yourself from the sport completely, or were you still watching, whether it was college or the PVL? Because diba, you're coming back to kind of refresh your love for the sport. So did you detach?
No, not completely at all. I didn't have a break. Like, I still played beach volleyball alongside. And of course, tuloy-tuloy pa rin yung strength and conditioning. So I never had that like urge to completely stop to play. Kasi parang syempre, for me, that's such a hard thing to do, especially na yung routine mo is like day to day na day to night. And parang it's not that easy to just stick away.
As an Ildefonso pa, you have to be in shape.
Yeah, you have to be in shape.
Pressure.
Yeah, it's in the blood apparently. Corinne, this team right now, a lot of people know that yung core nito, there's a lot of players that are from CSB. You talk about the excitement of going into the PVL. Kamusta naman yung preparations knowing that ibang level na to ibang level yung sasalihan ninyo?
Actually, wala naman kaming ginawang bago. It's still the same kasi kami-kami pa rin naman yung magkakasama. Pero mas eager kami sa training and mas extra disciplined when it comes to taking care of our bodies kasi nasa ibang level na ng game, professional na.
Camille, I wanted to touch on something related to that. You're used to dominating.
Yeah.
Right? The NCAA, sabihin na natin, diba? You did a sweep in the season 97 and then of course champion again, defending the championship. This is going to be a completely different scenario where you're going up against, really, really strong teams. What are your thoughts on that?
We're actually kind of nervous but more than excited since we'll be tackling a new route. So, very okay naman siya.
I love it.
I like that. I love it. Like, let's talk about the challenges. Okay lang naman. Yeah, okay. Pero Joan, you're going to be facing actually a lot of familiar faces, former teammates, and syempre foes that you've probably watched growing up as well. Are there any players in particular that you're excited to see across the net, excited to play with for the first time?
Maybe I look forward to playing against my Ateneo seniors na hindi ko naabutan sa team. Like, say sila Ate Beadel, sila Ate Maddie. Kasi I wasn't able to train with them and I would love to have the opportunity to, play against them and, learn how they play.
And speaking of which, we have to ask the question, how tough was it, cutting years in college? We've asked this, diba, with other players before, Pao, na syempre the UAP, minsan lang yan, sabi nga nila, nadadaan, diba, and you want to maximize it. But in this case, you and Pia are not doing that. How tough was that personal decision?
Do I go first?
Both of you. Yes.
Ako ba? Ako kasi I believe na there's no like proper timeline to every athlete when it comes to like deciding to go on pro. It could go on different ways. But for me to start off, I just really wanted a brand new environment to hone my skills, my personality in the court, and everything in between. And I feel like what better way to start this part of my career, which is with Farm Fresh. With the name itself, parang it's a perfect platform and perfect environment for me to pursue this next chapter of my
Fresh start.
Yes.
Fresh start.
Yeah. Well, maybe I resonate with Pia in the sense na I'd also love to be in like in a different environment as I start like a new chapter in my life, I guess. For me, of course, it was a very difficult decision to make, as in like until the end, I was considering playing one more year. It was that hard because, of course, my heart is with Ateneo. But personally, it was more about I was looking towards bigger fields, like
Yeah.
maybe improving myself even more. And what better way to do that than to actually set yourself out there in a bigger league where there are more improved players
Yeah.
or more professional players that you can actually play against.
Yeah,
So,
and we're gonna see all of that very
Yeah.
soon. Corinne, a lot of people are gonna be curious to see how does this Farm Fresh team play? Ano yung character ng team na to? Can you describe to us yung what you've seen so far from this group coming together and that the fans can expect come game day?
Siguro, at first, feel ko normal naman siguro kakabahan onte kasi bago kami, bagong team, and bagong experience namin to, and ma-expect nila na mas matapang kami ngayon.
Camille, what excites you the most about this opportunity, though? I mean, it's a new team. You are intact. Of course, you have some new teammates, and then you're welcoming back Micah Go in training, at least, the
Yeah.
former CSB and NCAA MVP, and we can't wait for her to get back on the
Yeah.
court also. But what excites you about this whole opportunity, which is, what, a few weeks away?
What excites me the most is the fact that we're going to new grounds, so there's more growth. We'll be able to learn from other different teams too. Maybe their techniques, we'd be able to adapt them, and we'd be able to show them who we are as Farm Fresh.
Yeah. Camille, you come in with again with additions like these two from the blue side of Katipunan, and right now, obviously that's new blood. How have you all adapted to having this new blood in, and how have they helped your team improve to what it is right now?
Actually, we're very open as a team, so we've welcomed them as much as possible, and we hope na we were able to actually make them feel na they're part of the team, di ba?
Oo naman.
Oh, by the way, off the air, hindi naman sila magkahiwalay umupo.
Ay, di ba?
Magkakasama naman sila.
Yeah.
Magkakasama naman sila. Nag-uusap naman. No, we're kidding. Pia, okay, obviously, everybody knows you have brothers who are now professionals. So, is there anything that you can take from that? Because, as you know, this is a different, being a professional, what does that mean to you, and what do they say about it?
Actually, gulat na gulat sila, syempre.
Talaga?
Parang...
Sa decision mo?
Oo, are you
Hindi na.
sure? Syempre, sinabi ni Sean sa akin, are you sure? Kasi syempre, maraming masasabi yung tao. Pero for me, parang sabi ko, at this point of my life, parang I just wanna go through it and deal with it and just do what I love the most. So parang walang, yun nga, I set my mind to think na bayaan mo na, gawin mo na lang, parang no expectations na lang din. So ayun, fully support naman sila.
Yeah.
As always.
Dapat lang.
Oo naman.
Oo. Kung hindi, I don't know what's gonna happen. Pero Joanne, Coach Jerry is gonna be leading this team, and I can only imagine how it feels again coming into a new setup for yourself. Pero how has experience been working with Coach Jerry, and what is he trying to instill in the team? Ano yung mga key points of emphasis niya that we're going to see come game 1?
Well, honestly, I've been with the team for like less than a week pa. So I still have so much to learn from him. But based on my few days of training with him, I think he really focuses on actually letting you do what you're actually good at, because he allows you to actually grow in your own pace. Like he lets you make mistakes. He allows that, and he knows that as long as you make sure that you know how to improve yourself. He's just really...
Well, they were nodding along, so I'm going to assume tama yung sinabi mo.
And what's working for her is you're done with school, so your focus will be as a professional now in
There
PVL.
you go.
I'm worried, by the way, for all the other NCAA teams in the coming season because of what Farm Fresh is going to be doing with CSB here in the PVL. We cannot wait to see you guys. We're excited for you, and we thank you for coming over to the game tonight. And good luck. Stay healthy, okay?
Yes.
The Farm Fresh Foxies, ladies and gentlemen. In the meantime, the PVL Invitational Conference officially starts on June 27. You can support your favorite volleyball stars and watch the games live at the Phil Oil Eco Oil Arena and the Phil Sports Arena.
And after the break, we've got more stories with your favorite sports icons and athletes. Stay tuned. You're watching The Game. Welcome back to the game. Have you ever wondered how NBA teams maintain their peak performance during an intense series? Well, NBA Finals correspondent Denise Tan learned some self-care tips from Denver's Jeff Green and Bruce Brown, as well as Miami coach Eric Spoelstra and Duncan Robinson. Let's watch this.
And we're back here right in front of the Ball Arena in Denver, Colorado, and you can see thousands of fans right behind me as they're absolutely ecstatic that their Denver Nuggets are in their first NBA Finals appearance. But as we know, before these top athletes even make it to this level, it's all about finding the proper way of taking care of themselves and finding the right balance within their lives.
When the time comes, lately we've had 2 days in between games, so that's been a time where I've been able to just get away from basketball. Been around my family. I've had family come into town, my kids, my wife, and that's my opportunity to, free the mind and, relax it a little bit and to just disengage from basketball.
It's been a long conference. How have you been take care of yourself, not just on the court, maybe during their off days as well?
Yeah, I kind of chill. Some days I get away from basketball. I golf a little bit, and I got a husky, so I like to walk my dog, be around my dog. He puts a smile on my face.
Yeah, this is really the first time in my career where I've had to deal with injury, so definitely a challenge for sure. And, I feel like I've gotten to a point where, maybe not 100%, but feel like a good version of myself. And, credit to a lot of people on the staff who've helped me get back to this point, because certainly, wouldn't have been able to do it without them.
Yeah, we're all managing it well. I want the guys to enjoy this. You never know how many opportunities, if you do get any opportunities to compete in the finals. Our guys do a great job of being on the razor's edge. We have so many competitors in our locker room that you also do need to decompress and somehow get away from it, so you're not always wound tight, and then build it back up for tomorrow night, because this is a heck of an opponent, and we have deep respect for Denver. We know we have to rise to a higher level, and some of the days in between of recharging your batteries are really important.
Straight from the stars. Although basketball is such a major part of their lives, it's just as important for them to find the time to rest, recover, and recharge. So whether that be as simple as going on an outdoor run, or walking your dog, talking to family and friends, it's just about making time and finding that balance to not just take care of their physical, but as well as their emotional and mental well-being. And this is definitely something that we can emulate and apply in our daily lives. That's it for me. Again, my name is Denise Tan, and this behind the scenes feature is brought to you by AXA.
Speaking of hoops, this is your chance to support the Philippines in the FIBA Basketball World Cup 2023. Buy 5-day passes at 20% off with this Independence Day World Cup promo package. Available from June 12 to June 16. Tickets are available at Philippines, or make that Philippine-ticketing.worldcup.basketball. Thank you for joining us. I'm Boom Gonzalez.
And I'm Paulo Del Rosario. This has been The Game.